Russian President Vladimir Putin is remaining defiant after President Trump hit Russia's two biggest oil companies with sanctions to pressure the Kremlin to end the war in Ukraine. Joining me now is the U.S. Ambassador to NATO, Matt Whitaker. Thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador, for joining us. I want to jump right in because we're a little short on time, but your reaction first to the Hungarian foreign minister from the last block. He indicated that the White House is giving Hungary a pass on Russian oil. It's not exactly the picture we've gotten from the White House. Is the U.S. respecting geography when it comes to Hungary, as the minister put it?
No, I mean, what's really happening is our expectation is that countries like Hungary, Turkey, and Slovakia that continue to buy Russian oil and gas will come up with a plan and execute a plan that weans them off of Russian oil and gas. And, you know, Hungary, unlike many of their neighbors, has not made any plans or made any active steps. And so we're going to continue to work with them, and we're going to continue to work with their neighbors like Croatia and other countries that can help them wean themselves off. And, you know, obviously that pipeline is most likely to be shut off in the coming years as well. And so there's a lot of planning that our friends in Hungary should do, and we're going to help them, obviously, as a good ally, make those plans and execute them to get them off of Russian oil and gas.
Russia argues that they're not going to feel these sanctions very much. Listen to this here.
Obviously, President Putin said that no pressure works on Russia, and frankly, we do not believe that these sanctions will have significant impact on the Russian economy because oil prices in the world will rise, and Russia will sell just fewer gallons of oil, but at higher price.
And yet, that's Putin's top economic envoy doing effectively a press tour in the U.S. to downplay the impact of these sanctions. He's also warning against so-called escalation if Ukraine were to get Tomahawks. He leaked plans to meet with Witkoff in Miami yesterday, long before anyone from the U.S. side ever said such a meeting was happening. He claimed that a diplomatic solution is near and that Presidents Trump and Putin will meet in the future sometime soon, even though President Trump said just a few hours ago that he's not going to be wasting his time. If you look at all that together, it sure looks like pressure from President Trump does have Russia on the ropes here.
It does. And, you know, President Trump holds all the cards. The Russians should end this senseless war as soon as they possibly can. It's not going to get better for them. And President Trump's going to continue to play these cards, like these significant oil sanctions. And, you know, the French interdicted Shadow Fleet boat that was carrying oil, and that, you know, the Russians complained about. They complained about when they were called a paper tiger by President Trump. You know, at every single turn, the Russians are not showing from a position of strength. They look very weak right now. And, you know, they should end this war, end the killing. They're not gaining any territory for the thousands of troops that they're losing every single week on the battlefields in Ukraine.
I want to ask you about this Reuters report overnight. It said that the U.S. has prepared additional sanctions targeting key parts of Russia's economy if Putin doesn't come to the table soon. It also says the U.S. would like to see Europe make the next big move when it comes to sanctions or tariffs, and that the administration might support the EU using frozen Russian assets to support Ukraine. What can you say about the claims in that report? Is that true?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to confirm any reports like that, but what I can tell you is what I said before, is President Trump holds all the cards. There are many more things and many more steps and many more incremental turns of the screw that President Trump can do. And at his election and his choice, we would like to see our European allies move together with us in every single situation. I think what they're doing with the frozen assets is positive. There's no doubt that the $200 billion that are currently being held in Europe could make a substantial difference, not only on the battlefield, but in the Ukrainian economy and helping them sustain this war. But, you know, every single thing is on the table. President Trump knows exactly what's available to him. These significant oil sanctions this week, I think we're a big step, but there are many more big steps that we can take if necessary, to end this senseless war.
And finally, the president said he's hoping to get China's help addressing Russia in this conflict. Are you seeing signs that China might be willing to do that?
Obviously, this meeting with President Xi is going to be crucial in that. You know, that right now the Chinese are buying way too much Russian oil and gas. They are providing too much dual-use technology to the Russians so they can continue this war through whether it's drone parts or other technologies that can be used to continue to prolong this war. China needs to join the U.S. and our other allies in raising their voice and saying that this senseless war needs to end, the killing needs to end, and President Trump is absolutely right to put pressure on the Russians. And now if the Chinese would join us, I think that would be a major step in finally ending the senseless killing.
Excellent. Ambassador Matt Whitaker, thank you very much for joining the Sunday briefing, sir. Appreciate your time.
All right. Thanks, Jackie. Good to see you.
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Kane podcast for full episodes right now.